Hello, everyone. My name is Type Rex, but you can call me Rex. I'm going to be with you for these next couple of runs. Whether you're just joining us or been hanging out with us all day or all weekend or on this Sleepy Monday, it's always a great time to remind ourselves why we're here. Our marathon, Rejects and Friends, is supporting Planned Parenthood, an organization near and dear to many members of RAF. Planned Parenthood wants you to know your health is our highest priority, and we believe your body is your own. By typing exclamation point donate in chat, you can donate to a cause that will support access to safe birth control, family planning, and sex education for men, women, and young people worldwide. So far, we've raised $5,254.68, and we're so close to hitting our next milestone at $5,345.51. That was set at RAF Sub-Zero 2022. Before we get started, I'd love to share a few things with you. The first is, if you've been here since the morning, our wonderful Pippi in a top hat has finished her amazing artwork that she was working on during the Bioshock Infinite run. She's going to drop a link to that in chat, and please do take a look. It is quite something. I also wanted to let you know of all the incentives and donations incentives we have right now. Right now, a $20 donation will enter you into a raffle for an amazing Majora's Mask mug by the wonderful Scenarios. We also have a bid war for the Skyward Sword file name, and last time I checked, Uwu Owo is still currently in the lead. Now, I really want us to set a new milestone in this marathon, so I've opened up a matching donation incentive as well. Up until the end of the marathon, approximately 8 hours away, or if we hit $300, whatever we hit first, I will personally match your donation dollar for dollar, meaning we have an opportunity to raise an additional $600 in the next few hours. So again, type exclamation point donate in the chat. Make sure to select the raffle and the donation bid wars if you're interested in signing up for those, and let's have a good time together. All that being said, Morph, I'm going to hand this over to you, and when you're ready to wave the green flag, go for it. We've got a race to do.
Okay, hey guys, it's me again. This time I'm commentating a game I actually know how to speedrun. We've got Majora's Mask, all fairy rewards race between Wildebeest and Feely Healy here. I'll get into the details in just a sec once we get the intro started. I think Beast and Feely are ready to go. Let me double check that real quick. Alright, they've got their file names in. Alright, Beast says he's ready. How's it going, chat? Recognize a lot of names here. Hope y'all are having a chill time watching the stream. Okay, looks like both Beast and Feely are ready now. Yeah, once I see Feely on the yes/no screen, I'll count us out. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Good luck, you two. All right, so all fairy rewards. So the premise of this category is basically going to all 4 dungeons, getting the boss remains, as well as all 15 stray fairies. from the dungeons and collecting the fairy reward outside in the main area of the overworld. So we're going to be looking to collect, and also the one in Clocktown. So Great Fairy Mask, Great Spin, Double Magic, Double Defense, and Great Fairy Sword. Once we have all those, we'll be making our way to the moon and fighting Majora. That's the basic idea for this category. So this game, run on the Japanese version. One of the bigger time saves on the Japanese version usually comes down to power crouch stab, which we'll get into later when that's applicable. There's some faster text on Japanese. It's not that much faster. There's honestly a lot of differences between both versions that I won't get into. Right now we're just watching the intro. Link's looking for Navi, his old fairy friend, and he gets ambushed by the Skull Kid. But the first, like, 22-ish minutes of this run is effectively just, like, all cutscenes, almost. We're gonna try and make our way to the second cycle as soon as possible. First, we have to get through some cutscenes here. But this dungeon, or not this dungeon, this category is pretty interesting, since the main leaderboard for this game is mainly comprised of any percent, 100%, all masks, and all fairy rewards. So you get a different kind of feel of the game for each category. All fairy rewards is like the dungeons aspect of a 100% run. All masks is like the opposite. All the overworld stuff you would do outside of like heart pieces and minigames and all that. So there's a lot of variety for this game's speedruns. So we're about to get control of Link here for just a second. Gonna start off here with some backwalking. Basic idea is if it takes longer than 4 rolls to get anywhere, it's probably faster to start a backwalk. It's usually going to be the fastest form of movement if you don't have like Goron Mask or any explosives, which I'll explain in a little bit. I'm going to try and get as much information as I can out during this intro sequence, because once we get into cycle 2, where the game really starts, it's going to be kind of hard to keep up with everything going on. So we've got the Skull Kid. He took our horse, and he's gonna do even more devious pranks to us. He's gonna turn us into a Deku Scrub. Not very cool. And that's like the whole premise of the, what we call first cycle, is trying to find a way to turn back into our human form. Alright, so we have Deku Link now. He's just a little guy. He really can't do much. But he does have some pretty unique movement that makes him interesting with the... He can spin around, basically. He does a little spin, he twirls around, and what's interesting about it, mainly, is when you move with rolls with either Human Link or Zora Link later on, you have to time your rolls so you're not losing speed or wasting frames. With Deku Link's spin, you're pretty much able to just mash the A button, and you'll always get like good spins out of it. So it lets you cut corners a lot more effectively, which has some fast usages. He also just has like the cutest backwalk sound, because he has no length in his legs, so it's just pitter-pattering all over the floor. So this is Tattle, our fairy companion for the game. And Deku Link can fly. But yeah, we're making our way to our first big trick here. I'll give the runners some silence for this. We're gonna be attempting to do a cutscene skip here before entering Clock Town. This is called a HMS skip, Happy Mask Salesman skip. The idea is you want to frame perfectly pause buffer the game so that you advance only one frame at a time, since it takes 2 frames for cutscenes to initiate in this game. So I'll be quiet for a second here. Nice. Okay, both of them got it. That's really fast. That saves about, like, 40 seconds-ish. So, we've made it to Clock Town, and our first objective is to make it Night 3 as soon as possible, since there's no other way for us to get into the clock tower when it opens. So we need to make it Night 3 immediately so we can get to midnight of the 3rd day as soon as possible. And to do that, we're gonna talk to this grandma here, coming up. She can put you to sleep for some period of time. It's either 2 hours or 24 hours. There's no in between. It's a very convenient, fast way to get to Night 3. Alright, we're out of the inn. It's day 3 now. We still want to make it Night 3, so we have to do a little bit more work to advance the clock just a little bit further. We're gonna go talk to a scarecrow. And we're gonna dance with him for like 12 hours or something. Dance the day away, or whatever he says, I can't remember. So, Night 3 now. So we're effectively just waiting until the clock strikes midnight to be able to advance in the game. And we want to try and get some stuff out of the way while that's happening. So the main objective of night 3 before entering the clock tower is to get enough rupees to buy bomb shoes later, or bomb shoes and the bomb bag. Explosives are very, very useful in Majora's Mask speedruns. Pretty much a necessity to complete a lot of these runs. So I'll explain what some of these, like some of the tricks that bombs are used for, since Beast and Feely are going to be running around Termina Field grinding up for at least 71 rupees, I think. Ideally, they get 90. Just makes it easier to withdraw from the banker later. But bombs are really useful. We can basically use them to give ourselves a way to hover up places, just like clear vertical distance. We can use them to gain a bunch of speed, negative speed, to move backwards quickly, at least until we get Goron Mask. And it's just like a very consistent like damage source to initiate a glitch called Infinite Sword Glitch, ISG, is what I'll be calling it. And that pretty much just like opens the door wide open for a lot of sequence breaks in the game. So bombs are going to be like very important throughout the run. Looks like there's some decent RNG going on. He's gonna need to get this last patch of grass here. Okay, 73.
As they finish up with farming in this section, is it okay if I sneak in a couple donations as well?
Yeah, we've got a Fairy Fountain cutscene here for Magic. You're all good.
Perfect. I have $25 from the Safari family with no comment, but thank you very much. And I also have a $10 from TTO or Tito saying, "Let's go bingo. Good luck with the beautiful game. RAF stands for Revive All Fairies." And I just want to remind everyone that all of these donations count for double right now. I've put a matching incentive for the next $300. It's a great time to get your donation in if you haven't done yet this weekend. And make sure to donate if you want to be entered the raffle for the Majora's Mask mug by our community members, Scenaries, to select that when you do your donation.
Alright, so you probably may have missed it because I was probably yapping about something earlier in Night 3. Beast and Feely did end up picking up a stray fairy that was flying around outside of the inn. That fairy is required, even outside of all fairy rewards. There's no way to knock down the ocarina that Skull Kid is holding without the magic upgrade. So we do need to get that. So we're depositing our money into the... I don't even know how you would like describe this bank. This guy just travels through time with us. He remembers all the money we deposit throughout cycles. Which doesn't make too much sense, but don't think about it too hard. But that money will be useful in a little bit once we get control back of Link when he's... Spoilers, turned back to human. But now we're just waiting for the door to open here at midnight. And this is pretty much just more cutscenes. If you have any more donations right now. Not too much going on here. We've got the Skull Kid, just looming, doing his thing.
Guys, we are so close to hitting our milestone goal right now. We are less than $30, and I'm just saying one $20 donation to go for the Majora's Mask mug will put us over that milestone. We are so close, guys.
Someone in chat asking, can Morph beatbox, please? I think if I were to beatbox right now, my throat might explode and there would just be no commentary for the run. But maybe in the future. Who knows? Alright, we've got our ocarina back. And this prompts another cutscene here, where we're gonna learn Song of Time. Song of Time, probably the most important song in this game. It effectively lets us just go back in time and save the game and start a new cycle. And there's also some other weird quirks with it that you can also use depending on how you play the song. But only instance of Zelda in the run, or in the game, I should say. You never see her again after this. It's interesting to note that the game itself in the memory, it will check to see if you have the ocarina not equipped, if you have the ocarina in your inventory to check if you're in a first cycle state or not, basically. So when you're in first cycle, time moves a little bit faster compared to normal. And yeah, once we turn human here, or once we save the game here, time is gonna flow normally again. And fastest way to get back to the main game is to just reset your game after saving. You can reset the game, the frame after you hit yes on Song of Time. Otherwise, you have to watch this really lengthy flashback cutscene of everything that's happened so far in first cycle, like you getting knocked off your horse, meeting the Happy Mask salesman, even though we totally didn't do that. And now we're back to HMS. He told, in the cutscene that we skipped, he effectively told us if you come back here with your precious item that was stolen from you, he can help us out. So he's going to teach us Song of Healing. Another important song is that it's going to be used for some parts of the run. But yeah, just some more cutscenes. There's a few minutes more of cutscenes before we really get into the run. If you have any donos type recs, now would be a pretty good time for it.
Oh, absolutely. They are rolling right in. I don't know if you guys have already saw it, but we have hit the milestone for what was that one? The RAF Sub-Zero 2022. And as we were getting ready to set up the next milestone, we immediately passed the milestone for Rapid Fire 2023. So Twitch chat, thank you so much. So many of you have answered the call. I just want to read out a few of them right now. Faison Tunic, thank you very much. My former runner host buddy, last RAF, thank you for the $20. Let's go. We appreciate you runners and everyone who works hard to help with RAF. Herder, give me the work, man. I'm ready for it. Let's get a $5 improvised donation train going. And Snowfall with another $20 donation. Huge fan of y'all. I'm a huge fan of you. Thank you so much, guys. I don't know what our next milestone is. I don't know if we're in uncharted territory, but I will update you. And please don't stop those donations rolling in. Put me to work.
All right, so we got a little exposition here. HMS basically telling us this mask is the apocalypse incarnate, and we need to get it back. For him, for some reason. What could he want with it? But yeah, this is pretty much the end of like that whole intro sequence that I mentioned. After this point, there's not going to be many cutscenes, which is why I tried to basically just explain some of the more important tricks of the run so early on before we even see them. Something else I haven't explained, which I'll do right now because it just came to mind. Soaring. So, if you play this game casually, you know, you can hit these owl statues to soar to places you've been already. And there's this owl statue right here in South Clocktown that you can hit. Lets you warp to Clocktown, that's, you know, normal. But that owl statue is also visible in West Clocktown, you know, just to give the effect that that the loading zones are connected, and just, you know, it's intended to just be visual, just like a visual thing you can look at and be like, oh look, there's the owl that's in the other room. But that owl also has a hitbox. It's not supposed to, or maybe it's supposed to. But you're not intended to hit it. And hitting that owl in particular has some very funky side effects with the way Song of Soaring works. And it can effectively let you warp to places you have not been before, which cuts down a lot on overworld movement throughout the run. And that's the first thing we're going to do once we get the bomb bags and bomb shoes in our inventory.
Have a second to provide a little update more?
Yeah, go for it.
Awesome. I got two updates actually, very quickly. The first one is our new milestone has been set on screen. I hope you guys have seen it. That is our donation record for Cold Sweat. I believe that was our most recent marathon, and that donation milestone was $6,184.69. And I did see the request in chats for someone to donate 1 cent. I'm going to advocate for that, please. Let's make that a nice number. I also want to update our bid war for the Skyward Sword file name. Groose has overtaken Uwu. Groose now stands at $122.99, whereas Uwu is at $80. Thank you all for making that happen, and defenders, be ready to jump back in case we need, in case that switch is bad.
Okay, so here's that owl here that Beast and Philly are hitting right now. So, very important to hit this owl. It pretty much is a necessity for the run. So, now that we've hit the owl, we're going to, looks like, buy some more bomb shoes. I think there's some very slight route deviations here between Beast and Philly. From what I was told, I believe the only route difference that they're having here is the grotto they're going to choose to get to Deku Palace, which doesn't sound right, but basically all grottos in this game are connected are all placed on the same map, but only one of them is loaded at a time, which is the one you enter. But if you know where all the grottos are, you can effectively get to whichever grotto entrance you want to. So that has a lot of potential for some really fast sequence breaking, and the runners are going to make use of it right here, especially with different grottos. I believe Beast is going to do the Swamp Gossip Stone Grotto, which, if you've seen speedruns of the any% category, you're probably familiar with. While Feely's going to be doing the P-Hat Grotto here. And this P-Hat Grotto saves pretty much on Bonchus. It has no Bonchus used at all in it for the exchange of like needing this setup, especially because it's being done with the P-Hat in the room still. And Beast here hovering out of bounds to try and get to the next portion, or to the grotto next to this one. Oh, the angle is not great on the root hover. It was a little awkward. The camera gets so funky in there. Alright, Feely is in. Okay, give me... Let's see here. Oh, Feely's going this movement. Okay. I'm so used to seeing people go to the grotto next to where you come out from to get to this room. Yeah, so this is interesting here. You're gonna use the flower to get to the other platform to hover into the monkey chamber where we're gonna learn the Sonata of Awakening. Beast here managing to get into the appropriate grotto, looking for the entrance. It's really hard when you're out of bounds and just nothing's loaded. Looks like he's gonna conserve his bombs here. Very smart. Normally what you can do if you have enough explosives is you can just hover on top of the fence and effectively like clip upwards with some hovers onto the platform that's moving over there. Yeah, these getting to Deku Palace is a big reset point in pretty much any run for this game. Very, very brutal segment for sure.
By chance, do we have some more time for some donations?
Yeah.
Excellent. I want to reread one. I mispronounced their name earlier. Snowfault. My apologies. I think I pronounced you as Snowfault. Thank you again for your donation of $20 and your comment. Huge fan of y'all. I also have $20 from Peachy Queen. That was also a $20 donation. Birder, I think your donation train is a little bit bigger than we thought it was going to be, because I have quite a few $20 donations flooding in. Peachy Queen's comment is, love the MM community. Thank you, Beast, Feely, and more for all the hard work that you do in making this cool tech accessible for viewers. Good luck. And for now, I do want to round off with another $20 anonymous donation. Thank you so much, Anonymous. Let me get you a quick update on our bid wars. We're still sitting at Groose 122.99 versus Uwu, but they have jumped up to $90.01. And thank you for whoever donated that 1 cent. And then curses to the next person that donated an additional cent to take it away from the nice figure.
All right, so we've got Feely learning Song of Soaring here. Very important song, as I mentioned earlier. There would be way more Hesses. I didn't even explain what a Hess was. That's a I don't think Feely got it. I think Beast did. Where you roll into the bomb and just start flying backwards really fast on the ground. This is a relatively new development here. Is this movement here with the bomb? Nice. So yeah, you can place the bomb there and it'll push you back off the ledge fast enough that you can get past the big octo. And that basically lets you get to the Woods of Mystery for the potion that you can get here on... I was gonna say day 1, you can get it day 2. I don't know how you get it day 3. It's relevant here because this is pretty much the fastest bottle you can get. And bottles are really, 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 really good and fast to have in your inventory. So we got Woods of Mystery here. Layout changes depending on which day you're doing it on. Beast getting some rupees here off the beehive. Bubble not flying in a good direction. Yeah, the way the bubble's trajectory goes is a little bit RNG. It's not very consistent. But Feely talking to the witch in the woods. She's hurt. We're gonna go get her a potion. Except we're not delivering the potion at all. We're just gonna take it and leave. Nice Hess from Beast. Okay, so Feely soaring away. She paused the game and placed her map cursor somewhere on the map screen. For this soar, it was placed on top of Deku Palace. And when you do that and place Song of Soaring with the hidden owl hit, it will teleport you instead of going to... well, there's no owl statue in Deku Palace, so that doesn't work. But basically, anywhere you place your cursor on the map can correlate to a different location to warp to. So there will be instances where if you want to warp to Stone Tower, you would place your map cursor over Goron Village, which is just one reason we're coming here. The more important reason is we need to get the Lens of Truth. Hard required item since we need Goron Mask. And there's no other way to get Goron Mask without use of some without use of some like SRM kind of stuff. So, just gonna walk in, getting the purple rupee chest, and then gonna soar back to Mountain Village again to get the Goron Mask. It's faster to soar there than it is to walk back. Yeah, Beast making his way here to the Lens Cave right now. Oh, here's a property of Infinite Sword Glitch that I haven't been able to explain yet. So, you're intended to climb up the mountain up like a ladder, but with infinite sword glitch enabled, if your sword is swinging infinitely, so that puts you in a state where you can't fall off ledges. Since if you swing your sword near a ledge, Link will never like walk off it or fall off of it. So you can effectively climb up like really steep slopes or collision here to make the climb a lot shorter. Now we're playing Song of Healing and getting the Goron mask. Got another decent bit of cutscenes here. Rex, if you have any donations right now.
I do. I have quite a few donations. I want to read a couple of the more supportive messages that are quite fun. I have $25 from Connor with the comment, had to donate to support Planned Parenthood during my favorite game. Go Beast. I also have another $20 donation from Josh W. saying, always love talented players running my favorite game of all time. And lastly, for now, I do want to give a special shout out to this donation from Alan's number one op. Alan is my real name. I'm assuming this is someone from my public health cohort. Thank you so much for your $20 donation with no comment. And on that note, I do want to stress how important this marathon is to me. I'm a public health major, and Planned Parenthood comes into conversation almost weekly. We all know we're in very interesting times right now, with grants being canceled for a lot of public research, and every donation that you guys put towards Planned Parenthood helps bridge those disparities in coverage. So once again, thank you so much. I'm happy to share more Planned Parenthood information later, but Alan's number one op. Nah, you're my number one fan today right now, and I appreciate your donation. We're so close to finishing the matching. I initially thought that was going to last quite a while. If someone wants to come in and snipe $4.99, that'll put me on the hook for $300, and I welcome it.
Alright, so we're soaring back to Clocktown now. We need to get this fairy again for a different reward from the Fairy Fountain this time. This reward is going to be the Great Fairy Mask, which, even if it wasn't required for the sake of the definition of the run, it probably still would be gotten because it is so incredibly helpful for getting all these stray fairies flying around in the dungeons. But you can skip this cutscene with a precise out of bounds. So I think Feely here is going to opt to do a Hess. Usually a lot of people will end up doing a super slide, but if you time it so you do a slow Hess, you can get the clip that way as well. So it looks like we didn't get anything, but Feely activated the cutscene, the frame, she voided out, and that gave her the Great Fairy Mask. You'll see this trick on the Great Spin in Woodfall and Great Fairy Sword in Stone Tower for those dungeons. Since the frame you enter the cutscene, you're given the item. Or the upgrade, I should say, whatever. The other two, double defense, double magic, you cannot skip those, you have to watch those. So here's Mikau. He's not doing good. He's kind of just floating. So we're gonna push him, but we're gonna do another cutscene skip here with bombs. This time we're gonna do something called Time Stop. If you backwalk with a bomb here and wait for a specific frame of the damage animation to be over, if you press shield and a cutscene item, like an ocarina or a transformation mask, that will let you enter a cutscene state while still being able to walk around. So you can push Mikau to start the cutscene of him walking up and then just walk away and take the load zone, and you'll just skip the cutscene of him walking up to the shore. I don't know how much that saves, but it's a good amount of time. probably at least 20 seconds, maybe more. So, yeah, another transformation mask cutscene here. I don't think there are many more instances of breaks here for this run. I think after this point it is all mainly just going. There's like the Giants cutscene later for Oath, and yeah. But we have all the transformation masks now. And we're gonna get one more thing here with our newly acquired Zora mask. We're going to go to Pirate's Fortress to get an item, the hookshot. Hookshot is a very essential item. It is very... You can tell the dungeons prior to getting the hookshot were not designed with you having the hookshot in mind, because it kind of trivializes and makes the dungeons far quicker with having hookshot early. And once we have the hookshot, we're pretty much prepped to start the dungeon rush of getting all the stray fairies. Another little tidbit, it's always faster starting out when you get a new mask to put on a previously worn mask and then equip the new mask, because it lets you skip the transformation cutscene of Link screaming into the camera. Saves a few seconds. So we're here in Pirate's Fortress. We've got pirates guarding the front entrance, swimming around. Just have to not get caught. Something that's funny about this category... Oh wait, let me explain this. I didn't get a chance to explain... I like briefly touched on hovers, but we're gonna do a hover here into Pirate's Fortress. So I explained earlier that you can't fall off ledges while swinging your sword, or if you have ISG. This also applies to just flying in midair like this. Since your sword is swinging infinitely, you just will not fall, and this is really relevant for when you want to hover across long gaps or do a mega flip here, as Feely's about to do. Nice. Using the mega flip, you can cover long distances really fast. I don't remember what I was gonna say, but I will say, now that we have Goron, you probably won't see as many of those like Hesses or super slides, because it's almost always faster to use Goron Mask to move around instead. Oh, I do remember. Something that I was gonna say is it's funny that Goron Mask is gotten in this run. I don't know if it would be faster to skip Goron Mask if it was possible, but there is exactly one stray fairy in the run that requires the use of Goron Mask. Other than that, like, if you were trying to complete this run, the definition of this run with the least amount of items possible, like, you would still need Goron Mask for this one fairy. Oh, this long jump is a little tricky. You're effectively trying to put the bomb on top of the barrel on the first frame you pull out the bomb from your inventory. And if you do it properly with the camera to move around as Zora Link, once you get on top of the barrel, you can long jump onto the fish tank. And that'll skip, like, a whole bunch of stuff. It makes it very easy to just knock down the beehive and get the hook shot here. And Beast now getting the Zora egg here. We need one. We only need one. We can get into that later. And now that we have the hookshot, we're gonna make our way to our first dungeon. All of the prep work now is complete for us to start getting all of these stray fairies really quickly. And we're going to Woodfall first. Woodfall first is generally pretty common. The main reason being having the bow in your inventory is really helpful. It's always good to have the bow as early as possible. It's good enough to the point where if there are some runs that it's timed that it is faster to enter Woodfall and get the bow and leave to come back later. So you can do other things more quickly with just having the bow immediately. As opposed to just beating it outright, but there's no reason for us to not beat the dungeon immediately. So we're gonna do that. Yeah, Great Fairy Mask has the property of attracting these stray fairies right to you. Very convenient mask to have for this. So we're gonna do a little bit of sequence breaking here. Normally you need to go all the way across. To go upstairs and then get to this room, but you can just hookshot the torch. I was trying to figure out the layout of this dungeon in my head for a second. Yeah, we can get the bow pretty much immediately. And this Dinofos, he's a joke. And yeah, getting this fairy and this key here and using Goron to void out puts you back where you last at the last door you used, so very good routing here for this. He's getting an extra set of bombs before moving on. Now Beast is going to do something called Action Swap. I'm not going to even try to explain how this works, but it lets you shoot a flaming arrow without needing fire arrows, which is pretty helpful. I don't know how else to explain it, because there's a lot of background stuff in the game happening for that, to my knowledge. I think Feely's gonna do a setup here. Or we're gonna go on the flower. We're going on the flower, okay. I think I've seen a setup where you can, like, aim at the wall. And then, like, do a side hop to shoot the torch immediately. Oh, nice recoil. So there's more of that, like, negative speed I mentioned that bombs can give you. Shielding the damage of the bomb and then backflipping in the air will just, like, let you fly backwards. Really good for covering long distances without needing, like, a mega flip. Now here's one of the coolest tricks in Majora's Mask speedrunning, weird shotting. If you hold the control stick in a certain way while rolling and then initiating the hookshot pull, it'll pretty much just shoot the camera either to the side like it did for... No, not to the side. It shoots it to the front like it did for Beast just now, or under the floor. And that has some pretty interesting properties because as long as you hookshot something, whether or not there's a wall in front of you or a floor, like, you will just go to where you hookshot. There's no stopping Link once you hook onto something. Alright, that's all 15 stray fairies. So, now it's time to go to the boss room. I believe. Let me see here. Yeah, we're gonna do the upstairs boss key skip. So we're gonna use Zora Mask and our bomb hovers to climb onto this pillar here at on these stairs up here, and we're gonna clip into the pillar to get out of bounds, and that will let us do some fancy movement basically to get to the boss room. Every room in a dungeon is unloaded except the room you're loaded in, as well as the load zone for the boss. So if you know where the boss is, you can technically just boss key skip from a lot of places. Can be hard to do that depending on the layout of the room, but we have this one here from the pillar. Buffering the ISG get. Failing this ISG can be very catastrophic for your run, depending on the situation with, like, how much time is ticked down, where the dragonflies are. Those dragonflies can be a real pain. Alright, Beast is in, and it looks like Feely is in too. Nice. That trick is spooky. It uses a ton of explosives, and if you fail it, your best backup is to get the boss key. So here's a Dola. He's just a giant guy, really. Alright, our runners are like a second and a half apart, maybe, after that kill. Pretty close race right now. Oh, I don't know if Feely wanted to pick that up. I kind of just spawned right on top of her. Potentially unlucky. But now we've got this cutscene here. This is the Giants cutscene. We have to watch one of these. We intend to skip the others, but we have to watch this one for Oath to Order. There's no way to get to the moon without the boss remains and this song. So this is a pretty good time for donations, Rex, if you have any.
Perfect. I do have quite a bit of donations and updates. Our first update is the match incentive has been met. So thank you so much to everyone in chat that has made me put my money where my mouth is. That's an additional $300. And the people that helped us reach that, Brandino with $100 and his comment, tipping the scales for Uwu Owo. Good luck to both of these amazing runners. So glad the MM community has been so kind to me despite playing 3DS. And an update on that bid war, that launched Uwu to the top at $210.01. Groose, we've got some work to do. You're still at $122.99. Other donations are QWERTY for $100. Thank you so much for your donation and your comment. Cool event with cool people. Also cool mug that I want. Good luck to the runners. Joshi with an additional $20 with a great comment. I just really like the mug and Uwu, to be honest. And my second favorite donation of the day by Majora's Mug. Thank you so much for your $10.01 donation and your comment. You've been met with a terrible fate. Decaf. Thank you so much, everyone.
Alright, so we're wrapping up this Giants cutscene here. There is one more cutscene after this. This only plays if you finish Woodfall first. Typically, it feels like, at least in my head, the longer the run is, the more likely that you will not beat Adola first. Since there's a lot of backtracking in those longer runs. But usually in these shorter type runs, doing Woodfall first is fast, even with this additional cutscene here. Pretty much just Tattle saying sorry for just being mean to Link at the start of the game. But we're about to get our first of the traditional fair rewards that don't include Clocktown. We're gonna get the Great Spin. Basically just a souped up spin attack upgrade. And if you remember what I said about grottos a moment like earlier in the run, when they were going to Deku Palace, how grottos are all connected on the same map. The same is true for fairy fountains, and we're gonna take advantage of that to go to a different fairy fountain and be closer to another dungeon. We're gonna end up going into Snowhead now, after we get the cutscene skip here. And getting into Snowhead without Goron Lullaby can be interesting, because you have all this wind blowing around, you have these giant snowballs that are hurtling towards you, ready to kill you. But having Goron Mask and like the ability to do ISG helps a lot. Alright, so background changed green. Signifies a different fairy fountain. Alright, Feely getting ISG here. No longer at risk of getting thrown off the side of the mountain here. Yeah, so this whole time you're kind of just fighting against this wind to try and get closer to the ramp. Oh, looks like sometimes if you... I feel like I've had some issues with like being consistent on like this sword swing that Beast is doing. If you're swinging your sword, you typically won't fall off the ledge. I feel like sometimes it happens to me. It's very strange, but if you get a quick roll with Goron after the wind stops, you can pretty much outspeed the wind and get to this ramp here. Effectively just skipping the Goron lullaby to get rid of the wind. Now we're making our way up the mountain, or the ramp. And we need to watch out for these snowballs. Especially for Beast, because he doesn't have any bomb shoes right now. So if a snowball does come barreling towards him, there's pretty much just nothing he can do. Oh no, I spoke it into existence, dude. No. The commentator's curse. It's real. Yeah, this segment is so tough. Depending on like the wind cycles, it'll slightly change what you're expecting from the snowball cycles. The snowball cycles aren't random, but the wind cycles are. And that can be really tough to get a hang on. Alright, Beast getting ISG again. Feely in the dungeon here. Cleaning up the stray fairies right now. Getting ready to do a weird shot here. This dungeon in particular is interesting to me just because it's essentially just the route for 100%, but done without getting the mapping compass. So it's very familiar to me. Alright, Beast making it up the mountain this time. Oh my goodness, my heart. Okay, we're in there. Whew. Okay, here's the Wizrobe. This guy's a little funny. After 2 Goron hits, he's gonna start trying to initiate a phase 2. But you can hit him. There's one frame where he is vulnerable while spawning this phase 2, where you can hit him and reset it. And if you hit him 2 more times, then he is done for. And we get the fire arrows. Beast, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to curse you like that, man. That was not my intentions. That was truly just unlucky. Here's a cool little cutscene overlap here with the hook shot. Yeah, we're just cleaning up some stray fairies. Here's probably the most boring stray fairy in the run, if I had to guess. Off the top of my head. We need to push this block all the way across the room, and there's no other way to spawn this treasure chest. Very... just slowly pushing it. At least you have a hook shot to the chest. Oh my goodness, almost fell. Oh, cool. Nice little optimization there from Beast. If you side hop and pull the bow out and ready it with target, and maybe the hookshot too, it'll just stop Link's momentum. Make it so you don't have to like jump all the way down and then ready the bow and then fire it. Very nice. Feel you getting these keys. There's a fairy behind this wall here. This hidden wall. This dungeon is very cool to learn for getting all the stray fairies, since you don't need the lens of truth to really see any of these. So it's just very cool to just see good aim for these. It can be hard though because you can't see. Nice double bomb drop for Feely. That is not that likely, I don't think. I hardly ever get double bomb drops in that room. Maybe one on a good day. Man, these dungeons fly so fast when you have the hookshot. If my memory serves me correctly, the next two dungeons are nowhere near as fast compared to Snowhead and Woodfall. You just get rid of so much of like the hookshot just cuts out so much of the verticality of these dungeons, especially this one. Here it is, the upcoming singular fairy that is required for Goron Mask. That big switch. It's the only one you need him for. And we're gonna equip either Deku or Zora to burn it here in the lava and respawn all the way up where we were before falling. Very clever time save. Would Goron Mask be optimal even if it wasn't required? I would think so. It saves a lot of time on movement. Very fast. It's slow to get, but he rolls at the same speed as a Hess would be. So it's just generally like really fast. Like unless you're like skipping literally everything like the any percent run does. It's probably worth it to just get Goron Mask. I don't know. Feely is running into Goat and getting frozen. There's a reason for it. And I'll try to explain it really quick while this cutscene's happening. There's a trick called Remains Escape. After the boss is beaten, the boss remain spawns in the blue orb. and you can pick up the blue orb and die. It's a death warp back to the dungeon entrance, and that lets you skip the Giants cutscene. Alright. Feely fighting Goat now. The strat is to pelt him with 15 arrows. Positioning on this is a little weird, and you also have to aim, which can be hard on the Wii VC version of this game. Alright, Beast is in there now. I didn't even get to comment on the boss key skip. If you have a particular angle with Goron Mask only, you can just backwalk into the door by having the icicle push you out. So here's that Remains Escape glitch that I talked about. So, putting the bomb on the blue orb and having that pick up on the A button be a thing, while having the hookshot in hand, for some reason lets you pick up the blue orb, and the frame the blue orb gets put off the ground is like it's hovering mid-air. The boss remains will be put in your inventory, which is very convenient, as the old way of having to skip those cutscenes was using Song of Time storage, where you would store Song of Time and save the game on the frame you pick up the remains and reset, and that would reset the cycle. Here's Beast doing the Remains Escape now. Nice. Missing that one can really suck too, because after watching the Giants cutscene, normally you get put right outside the dungeon entrance, which happens to be really close to the fairy fountain. But this Giants cutscene puts you way out in Mountain Village, and the fairy fountain is right here next to the dungeon entrance. So, definitely, like, probably the most time loss you could get from all three of the remains you can do that on. And here's that double magic cutscene that Feely just finished up watching. Beast is about to enter it right now. Have to watch this one because we don't get the upgrade until somewhere in the middle of the cutscene.
This be a good time for some donations, Morph?
Yeah, this is a quick Clocktown trip to buy some stuff, so go for it.
Perfect. We have 2 donations. The first one is from Scenaries with $5. Thank you so much, especially with your comment that just says, because Brandino said so. Thank you very much for that. We also have an anonymous $1 donation with no comment. Thank you so much. And I want to provide a little personal update. One of my public health professors has found the stream and is profoundly confused but ecstatic that you guys are raising money for Planned Parenthood. So on behalf of her, thank you so much for donating. $1 donations are her favorite. She wanted me to pass along the note that any amount is wonderful. And she works with Planned Parenthood, and according to her, $5 funds pregnancy tests, $10 accesses birth control counseling and STI prevention, and the $20 donation mug one that I think is the one that she's confused the most about, just because she has no idea what Majora's Mask is, supports wellness and emergency contraception. But we're both in agreement that the $1 donations are fantastic because they may seem non-impactful, but they help produce printed materials. And you never know who's going to walk through the door in a Planned Parenthood office and just take a brochure and what's going to call out to them regarding their own sexual wellness and sexual health. So please keep those brochures stocked. The first visit is always important, and having a lasting impact is even more important. So thank you so much for your donations. We appreciate no matter any amount. And if you're not capable of donating, that's completely fine too. Just keep Planned Parenthood in the conversation. That is how knowledge spreads. That is the dissemination of support. So again, on behalf of my professor and myself, thank you so much, guys.
So we've got Stone Tower Temple. This is probably the longest dungeon when it comes to getting all of the stray fairies. Lots of rooms to navigate. And yeah, both Beast and Feely did another bomb time stop to pause the cutscene of the block moving over back to the dungeon entrance, and they can just hop on top of it, and when they cancel time stop, the block cutscene will initiate and just carry Link over to the other side. So right now we're doing an out-of-bounds hover to get to this room underneath on the bottom floor. Very fast way to get to this ferry here. I don't know where Beast went. That looked weird. I've never seen that. That was spooky looking. So, shooting out the eye here for the fairy chest. This room can be a real pain. Having two dragonflies chasing you everywhere, on top of just the stray bomb shoe in the middle of the room. Okay, here's a cool setup. You place the bomb in a particular spot upon entering the door frame. You can just like walk into the corner as Zora and clip out from the bomb explosion boost. Alright, Beast made it in. Again, this ferry here. And Feely entering the mirror room. Seems like coming back here with light arrows later. It's a bit faster, so we're gonna do this initial weird shot here. To go under the floor and hit hookshot this box. Maybe this Negeron gives a bomb drop? Blessed. Alright, here's another straight fairy, another weird shot. This one's gonna go through the wall, shooting forward. This one's a little tricky just because the spacing is very weird. Flaming chest skip. If you take damage and then walk straight into the ring of fire again and hookshot the chest, you have 1 frame to open it. Really convenient because getting that ring of fire out is annoying. Gara Master, not too big of a threat. He's either gonna jump or swing at you immediately, and you can just roll either way. Alright, Beast looking for some bomb drops here on the Negirons. Got one. Ooh, almost. That would have been really clean with the bomb toss. I feel you getting light arrows. Gonna exit out to this room with the hip loop. And let's see here. Maybe get the jump slash recoil. Ooh, almost just landed on it. That would have been really fast. Here's the Igor. Hopefully he doesn't cause any problems. Alright. Sometimes you'll just get trolled if you like place the bomb just a tiny bit too far, and it can be hard to tell in the moment because it just won't blow up on his eye. Ooh, this is an AFR thing. We're shotting to this chest here. This is also a stray fairy. That's really cool. So, Feely's gonna do another weird shot. There's so many weird shots in this run. Hitting the sun switch with light arrows here. I was expecting to see a hover. I'm too hundo-pilled. So we got this underwater chest that we have to spawn. And there's only 2 more stray fairies in normal stone tower. Up in this room. From the light arrow switch and the block. Yep, Beast about to go for this weird shot as well. Nice. Unbuffered first frame weird shot. Potential bomb drop again. Wow. Very nice. Very nice RNG. Yeah, we're gonna soar out of here now. Go back to the entrance. And with something called a bow extension, Link's gonna just stick his hand through the wall here. And that lets him just shoot the ruby switch there. And now we are gonna enter inverted stone tower temple. There's only 5 stray fairies here. Alright. Beast slowly catching up. Beast lining up for the bow extension. Nice. This room has one of the funnier fairies to get in this run. Feely doing a setup here. Get this long jump. Nice.
Mark, would I be able to sneak in and give some final reminders as we enter the last stage of this run?
Yeah.
Awesome. So I just want to remind everyone to type out !donate to donate to our stream today. We are benefiting Planned Parenthood, and right now our current incentive is a $20 donation to enter the raffle for the Majora's Mask mug. If you'd like to see what that would look like, you could put the !schedule command into chat to see what that looks like. It's on page 11, if I remember correctly. And thank you to our most recent donators. I'm with $69.69 with a very nice comment that just says jammies. And thank you so much to everyone for the attention that my professor is getting right now. I have another anonymous donation for $1.11 that just says, "Oh, she likes one. Does she take this?" Followed up with Pippi in a top hat with another $1 donation with the comment, "$1 to confuse Rex's professor. Why do they call it frames when you kill in the Cancer Germany? Save out the long time runners." Thank you so much, Pippi. My professor's thoroughly confused, but she's having a great time. But one notification is sitting at the top of my phone that just says, "What does ooh mean?" So thanks, chat. I'm so looking forward to explaining that. And an update on that bid war is leading confidently at $216.01. Next to outcompeting Groose at $124.10. So thanks so much, Twitch chat. Enjoy the rest of the run. Remember to get that $20 donation in before the end of it to enter the raffle for that mug, and to make sure you add it to your cart as well.
Alright, so both Beast and Feely getting the Wizrobe Stray Fairy, and there's nothing else on that side of the dungeon, so we're gonna soar back to the entrance and get the upside down treasure chest for this Stray Fairy. And as you can see, the fairy is also upside down. Alright, we got another flaming chest clip. This one needs a little more setup, since it's on such a small platform. Nice, and Beast gets it. Feely gets it too. Oh, okay. I'm thinking back on now. I'm pretty sure that's all the stray fairies for this dungeon. Like I said, I'm so hundo-pilled that you end all the fairy collection on the Wizrobe one that they did earlier. So, on our way to fight Twin Mold. No Giant's Mask needed. Gonna do this setup here on Beast End to do 3 horizontal slashes, or vertical slashes, and then early backflip, and the recoil pushes you in between the sides of the door. Pretty much neck and neck here into Twin Mold. This fight has a lot of RNG in it. Basically, we're looking to hit the tail with our arrow shots. Fire arrows are convenient here, since they deal more damage to blue Twin Mold. Both of the Twin Molds have elemental weaknesses. They take ×2 damage from light arrows, and blue takes ×4 damage from fire arrows, while red takes ×4 damage from ice arrows. So singling out blue to start with is super important to get rid of one of the two immediately. And then you can use light arrows to get rid of red here. An actual use for ice arrows. I think only glitchless any percent might have ice arrows for this fight, maybe. I think every other run has either fire and light arrows or only light arrows. So it doesn't come up very often. I didn't get to catch Feely's fight, but it looks like she had a pretty banger fight here. Just like Beast did. Super close. So here's that Remains escape again. This one's a little weird since it's raised up in the middle of this platform. And this room's really convenient since we can just go to the edge of the arena and it'll void you out if you go far enough. So no need to die for the Death Warp, or the Death Warp, Void Warp, they do the same thing. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even think about this minor route change that could happen. If you have enough magic, you can just flip over the dungeon to get back here without having to soar. That's interesting. So we're gonna make our way to the fairy fountain here and get the Great Fairy Sword. Same deal as Great Fairy Mask and we can just void out on the first frame the cutscene starts and we'll get the item. Now we're on our way to our final dungeon, but we do have to do one more thing for that. We need to finally make use of this Zora egg that we've had in our inventory for the past like 40 or 50 minutes. So there's supposed to be 7 eggs in total that you get to get New Wave Bossa Nova, the song to open up Great Bay Temple. We only have 1 egg. But with a trick called Equip Swap, you can pretty much place your cursor over the egg slot. And then if you, on the same frame, hit, in this case for both runners, it would be up left and a C button. Up left to get to the light arrow slot and C button to equip it. It'll put the egg on top of the light arrow slot, and you can repeat this as many times as you need, so we can just duplicate the eggs and dump the real one after we dupe 6 eggs. Actually, no. That's not right. We're keeping the egg for something later. So we do have to dupe this egg 7 times. I'll explain that later.
Morph, can I come in real quick and just let chat and everyone know of the new incentive we've got launched by the King's Pride? He is offering to, if we reach the donation milestone by the end of this run, I will record myself singing Scenari's Pink Pony Club Majora's Mask parody. I need to see that happen, please. We have about 15 minutes left maybe in the run, Morpheus? I'm wondering how fast we can make it.
Like 20-ish. 15,
20-ish
20, yeah.
minutes. Might have to get in on this. Alright. We know what we gotta do, guys. Let's make it happen.
Alright, with 7 eggs duped, the... is this the same guy? Is this the same kid 7 times, or is it 7 different kids? Who knows? But they all hatch and they form a song. And if you pull the so the frame you pull the ocarina, you learn the song. But the game like plays the animation of you pulling the guitar out, and you have either 2 frames to pause the game, or 1 frame to play the ocarina again, and you can use that to skip the cutscene, like Beast just did. So we have New Wave Bossa Nova now. And we're gonna go play the song in front of Lulu, the one who gave birth to these eggs, to try and bring back her voice, to raise this... There's a turtle in this giant island here. He's just hanging out. Be quiet for this. Nicely done by Beast. Feely going for turtle cutscene skip now. Nice. Alright, so we have pirate cutscene skip here as well. So Beast was doing a setup just now to get a good lineup for this time stop. And with good positioning, you can cancel this time stop to initiate the cutscene, and also take the load zone here at the same time. And it'll skip a cutscene of the pirates just getting blown away or something by a whirlpool, I don't know. Looked like Feely attempted it. I was busy watching Beast to see if he would get it. Alright, so we're in Great Bay now. Very scary dungeon. Very easy to lose a lot of time in this dungeon. But there's a lot of cool stuff in here. I think it's probably the coolest dungeon in this category, and probably 100% as well. Alright, nice roll out there from Beast. It's not over yet, I don't think. Because we need to get to Georg's room. Or the room outside Georg's room. To get the fairies in there without having to change the current. Oh, that void sucks. So, the biggest problem with, like, just this dungeon, like, doing it this way, is if you void out on that swim out of bounds, it puts you all the way back here at this door. Since you didn't, since you haven't entered another door since taking this one. So, like, failing that is really annoying. Alright, he's gonna try again here for this. Oh, no, gonna get this fairy down here.
Morph, do we have a second for an update and another incentive real quick?
Yeah.
Awesome. So, I have a diabolical donation by Etchy at $2.50. That put us at $5,999.99, and I cannot stand it. Please, someone donate to fix that and make us hit a 6,000 milestone. Also, I was going to save this for the next run I was going to host, but you know what? It's time. I really want to see that King's Pride rendition. So, Etchy, I see your $2.50, and I'm going to raise you a $200.50 matching donation incentive again. As we have about maybe 10-15 minutes, I'll meet you halfway. If we can raise $125, we can totally hit that milestone in the next few minutes.
Feely making her way to this room right outside Georg's boss door. Lining up the swim. She gets it, nice. So she's gonna transform here and crouch stab the wall, and it'll push her back fast enough that she can start this super swim, and you can do that to reload the room properly and load in these stray fairies. Oh dang, I didn't get to see Beast do the golden water wheel room. That room is super cool. Getting the Biobaba fairy here now. Got two differing routes going on right now. Oh no, the Chew went along the wall. That's so annoying. Okay, I think the only stray fairies Beast has left is these two outside Georg's room, and then the one in the green pipe room to change the current. And then he'll be set to finish the dungeon. Alright, Feely gets through. This is a really cool application of like the Chew riding along the wall here for this strat. You just like place the Chew along the wall and it runs across the whole room and ends up breaking this barrel that's underwater. Water wheel room. Nice. Alright, Beast going for this again. Fingers crossed, let's go! Alright, crouch stab to start the super swim. And probably like void as Goron or something to set up the boss key skip. Alright, I think Feely has one more after this here in this pot. Is this 14? This is 13. Oh, I think I know which one Feely did not get. It's probably this barrel one here. Yeah, okay. We're on track. Alright, Beast setting up the boss key skip. Nice, first try. Alright. Looks like... Okay, Beast is doing the bow extension method. So you can hit Georg with the bow, since he's already loaded in the room down here, and you can stun him and just skip the boss intro sequence altogether. So we only need to hit him once, because we're going to do a very particular strat here. Oh, Feely soaring to the entrance. For the boss key skip instead. Very, very good and fair. So, Beast is going to store Jump Slash with Great Fairy Sword, get ISG, hover off this same bomb, pull out the Zora Egg, and it's gonna whiff for some reason. That was supposed to kill and hit. With the Great Fairy Sword Jump Slash damage stored, that will kill Georg once you fall all the way down. I'm kind of surprised that just missed. There it is. That was just strange. And I think we're gonna go for the void out, potentially, for this remains escape. So still have to get this boss remains is the last one we need before we can go to the moon. Okay, Beast gonna void out immediately. Oh, actually, I'm not sure if going to the... Okay, there's a method where you can end up in the Giant's room and soar out from there, but we need to get the Stray Fairy, or the Fairy Reward from outside of the temple, so might not be faster. 2 seconds faster and risks crashing. Okay. I had a bit of a feeling it was faster, but not that much. Thank you, Beast, for the confirmation. Feely getting the remains escape now. Voiding out. Nice. Alright. High ledge grab? No. This ledge grab is very particular. If you dive at a certain point and start dolphin diving out into the water, you can line it up so that when you hit B to stop your swimming, it'll cause Link to just like be in a aerial state where he can ledge grab out of the water. And that can be really fast there, but it's finicky, and if you fail it, it's really annoying. Because you have to turn to human, look back at the platform, turn to Zora to ledge grab, turn back to human to hookshot the tree to get to the fairy fountain.
Just wanted to chime in real quick. Scenaries has donated $5, asking if we can get a $5 dono train as we go for drinks at the Pink Fairy Club. Etchy, thank you so much for your $20 donation with your comment, fine, I want the mug, and thank you for matching. And then lastly, Anonymous with the $6 and one donation that just says Glurp Shaky and has entered a third competitor into the file name Bid War with Wario Luigi. Uwu is still leading that at 221 versus 144 for Goose.
Okay, so we're here at the final fairy fountain cutscene, double defense. And all that's left now is to soar to Clock Town and go to the moon. Interested to see what method. It's probably going to be the bomb boost with the Goron mask. It's just too fast, only needs one bomb. Nice. He's in. Billy making her way to Clocktown now. This is a really close race all throughout. Very, very cool to see. Been very fun to watch. Nice. Alright, and if anyone needs to go to the bathroom or something, now's a great time or something, because this is like 5 minutes of cutscenes. Just uninterrupted. Rex, if you got any donos right now, or any updates, I'm all ears, because we're
no
gonna be here
major
for a bit.
We're just getting really close. I'm assuming this is the 5 minutes before the run ends, so we're getting really close if we want to hit that King's Pride unofficial incentive for his rendition of the pink. What is it? What are we calling it? The Pink Fairy Club? I need to see that, guys. We have a matching donation incentive going on right now. Every dollar counts as double. 2 runners, double the amount for any amount you donate. And then regards to the bid war, Ooh is still right on top of that at 221 versus Groose at 144.
So Giants coming out of their respective regions to help save the world, stop the moon. Not too much going on besides, you know, the end of the world. No big deal. Something that's interesting, a little fun fact, trivia fact. Um, the Wii VC version of this cutscene saves like 6 seconds, and presumably on Wii U as well. When they re-released this game on Switch and SO, they ended up adding lag into the cutscene intentionally because the music gets cut off on the Wii and Wii U versions at the very end of the cutscene. Just random tidbit.
Thank you, Twitch chat, for reminding everyone to check out the mug exclamation point schedule. It's on page 11. We're getting so close to the end of the run. A $20 donation. Make sure to add it to your cart. We'll get you into the raffle to win this mug. And Pippi, if you're around, I think this would be a great time to repost your wonderful artwork that you made earlier this morning during the Good Night or the Bioshock Infinite run as well. I think it's one of my most favorite things to come out of this marathon.
Honestly, this mug is really good. Very good mug.
And I love Scenari's extra comment. It comes with bubble wrap. So, you know.
Can't go wrong with bubble wrap. Alright, so in this cutscene we discover it was not the Skull Kid who was doing all the bad things. It was, in fact, the Mask. Who could have seen that coming? So, we gotta go up to the moon now and put an end to it all. Alright, I don't think I ever explained power crouch stab properly, so I'm gonna do that really quick before this final fight, because it's gonna come up here. It came up in the Georg fight as well, but basically, anytime you swing your sword, that damage gets effectively stored as the last hitbox you used, and that matters since different sword swings deal different damage. Mainly, your jump slash. Jump slashing is the most powerful way to swing your sword. Typically deals like double the damage of a normal swing. And that's important because when your crouch stab, when you're crouching and you like stab the sword forward, that takes on the last damage that your sword did. So you can pretty much spam your crouch stab and deal double damage, and that's going to be super effective versus Majora here. So here comes phase 2. The remains are coming alive. These guys are annoying. They will just shoot projectiles at you. You kind of want to keep them off screen because they'll stay unloaded that way. That's the end of phase 1. Here's phase 2. Beast is going to try and get a quick knockdown with a quick spin. The quick spin with great spin with the great spin upgrade and great fairy sword is huge. So unless Beast is like super unlucky, should just get this. Yeah, there he is. There's literally like no escape for this boss once you stun him with the quick spin. Alright, this is the final phase. Time will be on the final hit. So it should be 5 crouch stabs on this boss, I'm pretty sure, or 5 jump slashes. So it's gonna throw a bomb to get Majora away. So now we need to stun Majora. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, time. That's time for Beast. Feely on her way to Majora's Wrath. Oh, nice. Using the bomb in the center of the arena. You can just auto-stun Majora for free if you place a bomb in the middle of this flower here. No idea why. But it's a thing you can do. It's very helpful. Alright. 5 more crouch stabs. Hopefully Wrath jumps somewhere good. That's decent for 5 stabs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Time.
Well done, everyone. Congratulations for winning 2 races. Beast, incredible run. Yuli, incredible run as well. Twitch chat, thank you for having some fun on the side. We have met the unofficial incentive for the King's Pride's rendition of the Pink Fairy Club. All thanks to Highly Incompetent with $100 donation coming at the very end. Thank you for your comment. Hold on tight, the cheat. We are blasting off to the moon. I'm so thank you so much, guys, for donating to this cause. It means so much to me and for the community. Thank you to the runners. More fantastic commentary. Just I'm jumping between screens and you're just remaining chill, and I'm able to keep up with the run. Just phenomenal work, everyone.
Thank you for having me, especially doing 2 runs. It was a lot of fun being here. GG's to Feely and Beast. There was probably a few things that I didn't get to comment on just because of how close this race was. It was very fun to watch.
All right, everyone. I'm going to take this opportunity to close out this run right now. Thank you so much to Beast, Feely, and Morpheus for your contributions to the event. I'm going to sneak in one more donation before we go to transition. Vibrant Viola, we see your last minute $20 donation for the mug incentive. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you guys in a hot minute. We have Hyperlight Drifter by Mechanical Snail next.